So my name is Alec Baird, and my senior project is converting Oracle Forms from their current infrastructure to a .NET application at my job at the Idaho National Laboratory. So specifically, my senior project is being sponsored by the Idaho National Laboratory, my place of current employment, for all of their forms that they give to their customers to control any database manipulation without requiring them to have knowledge of SQL or PL SQL or any type of database management. They are using Oracle Forms, but due to an upgrade that they're performing, they need to migrate all of those forms away from Oracle Forms to a newer system. After talking with my managers and some higher up business executives, there was a decision made to migrate Oracle Forms to become forms built in a .NET framework into web applications. So Oracle Forms, I hadn't heard of them before I started working at my current job, but they're an application that was built by Oracle in the late 1980s. What it's designed to do is to integrate PL SQL and SQL procedures, packages, and functions from Oracle databases that would allow users without knowledge of coding or of database infrastructure or administration to be able to create, insert, modify, or delete rows, tables, or columns that are stored inside those Oracle databases. How an Oracle form works is they use a GUI to be able to, as I said before, limit knowledge required of Oracle databases to allow users to be able to change data freely across your company. So right here's a picture of an example Oracle Form UI. This is actually the developer screen, the screen in window 1, as you can see right here. That is what your user or your customer would be able to see. They're able to enter values, select from drop-down values, click and check radio buttons, anything that a normal web application form can do. But this allows the users to communicate with the database seamlessly to be able to update and modify and perform all the database functions that a user would need to have accomplished. So the next question I'm going to answer is what exactly .NET is. So .NET is a MVC or a Model View Controller framework that was designed by Microsoft to help create web applications using the MVC software design pattern. So .NET is pretty common. It is used across industry to do a lot of web applications. There are other tools to use it, but Microsoft has done a great job with this framework to allow it to integrate with other pieces, whether it be from Microsoft or from any other companies as well. Drilling down into .NET, there's a specific extension that is called Windows Forms that's specially built for web forms that can communicate with databases in the .NET framework. And after I have done some review and some investigation, that is what I decided I'll be using during my conversion process. So I'm going to do a brief overview of just the MVC controller structure that is used in .NET. This is learned in software design and development, CS246 here at BYUI. But for those who are unfamiliar, you have a model, and this is where you store all of your business data. All of your business data, the majority of your functions, any business logic that needs to be performed is all stored here in this model. The controller triggers behavior in the model, runs those functions, changes the data that's passed in, and the controller is the way for the information in the model to be able to get communicated to the view, which is the users and their UI screen. The view also communicates with the controller, and the controller is the broker in between the two. So some difficulties that I have ran into and I foresee running into during this senior project. One is that Oracle Forms was built and designed to handle these PL SQL functions, packages, and procedures that are already stored in Oracle databases. That way you don't have to rewrite any code. There isn't any errors with permissions or integration through any other applications or any third-party communication. It's all done by one house in one shop. .NET will require extensive modification to use or recreate those functions, packages, and procedures that are already used in the database due to its non-compatibility with the Oracle database. Another difficulty I foresee running into is that Oracle Forms is a lightweight program. It doesn't really have any taxing overload, and there isn't really a lot to it. Whereas because .NET can accomplish so many things and it has so many tools and libraries that it references, sometimes it's a little heavier and there's a lot more code, so it is harder for others to understand. Using Oracle Forms, everything is very visual. They have a really nice GUI to be able to understand what the form will look like, what you're doing, whereas .NET is primarily written in C#, which doesn't have an effective GUI to use when creating the form. So in conclusion, any additional information, as part of my process for work, I'll be creating documentation for other .NET developers to do this conversion. There are over 200 forms currently at INL that need to be converted by the end of the fall of 2020. The initial form I'm using is something that is used by over 1,000 current employees. So they will be able to extensively customer test and provide feedback, which I will include in my documentation on how this migration works, any pros and cons that I may run into. So that in a nutshell is what I'm doing for my senior project. This is something I'm unfamiliar with. I haven't touched Oracle Forms before, and although I am familiar with MVC, I haven't had the opportunity to use .NET extensively in any regard, either in schooling or in industry. So I appreciate you watching the video, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.